Hey, HP, Bruna, how you doing?
Good. Yeah. Feeling really, I don't know, also yesterday, but also this morning, it's kind of, there's like an energy in me. And
Mm,
this morning I was feeling into it. It's not nervous. It's not like restless. It's like a little, yeah, I wanna move, do stuff. And
yeah,
yeah, it feels really joyful. And,
nice. Some Eros.
yeah, I guess so. Yeah, it feels good.
Yeah,
Feels good.
yeah, it was similar on my side. And yeah, it's great to have you here. Nice. Well, it's not so early, but it's early enough, 9 o'clock on this Thursday morning. And yeah, I invited you here because you're actually one session away from finishing your online SAS. And we've had actually, like from my side, we've had quite a special group, and there's been a lot of connection in the group. Yeah, from my vantage point, and I just wanted to bring you on to yeah to explore with you, share more of yeah what it's been like for you, especially if there are people listening that are interested in this journey, like what you've experienced, even though that will probably be very different to what they could experience, but. Um, I think yeah, I think it's just really nice to discover your journey more with you.
It's just when you started, you said like one session away from the end. I felt some uh yeah, some sadness with that. It's
Mm.
what I like before I started this, and because there is also like a physical SAS in Amsterdam, so it was also an option. I was weighing both, and I chose the online SAS because I also like the rhythm. It's like every week, Wednesday evening, 3 hours, and
Mm.
we've done that now for 25 times, and it's like, yeah, I'm going to miss that that Wednesday
Yeah.
evening, seeing the same faces, and every time is different. I'm really going to miss that. So I'm already, yeah, anticipating on the gap.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, when you say that, that really speaks to something because it was only during the COVID like years that we were like, oh, it'd be good to have an online SAS because we can't meet up in person. But it was like, can we replicate that experience? Because it's so immersive and rich to be with a group in person for 4 days. And like when we worked out the hours, it's like, how long can we be online? Like 4 days being online sounds very unpleasant. And
Mm.
but then it's like, oh no, we've got a new opportunity rather than this like intensive 4 day weekends. We can stretch it out and have this more regular, you know, fairly intensive 3 hour sessions, but it's not like a whole day. And and it's surprising how much that has yeah added a kind of spice, or there's something that I definitely feel in a online group that there's an intimacy or a something that comes from that regularity that's quite special.
Yeah, and also um, when I started, I was curious about. I thought, this online that's different than offline, and can we get the same quality of connection? And it is different, and it's in like small things. Like now when I'm with you like one on one, I know that you're looking at me, but when you're in a group, sometimes you don't know. You're like, hey, am I seen? Am I here? And but on the other end, so some people from which I met online, I met also in real life, and it was so like instant. Like, so okay, this is like so normal, so that you just that the connection is there, and then that physicality, yeah, it's Yeah, it's not even that different. Like the
Yeah.
connection.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah, it's surprising how much subtle energy and yeah, connection is possible, aliveness. I mean, even being here with you now, that I'm getting that kind of effect, which it's almost like taking a psychedelic where it's like it's almost like the air's thicker and the yeah, my senses get more attuned and yeah, the the colors are very bright around me right now. Seeing your smile and a sense you kind of know what I'm pointing to.
Yeah, yeah, I think so. And yeah, I've had that experience, and now that you were talking about it, it's like a volume button, button that gets tuned up, like all the colors and the sounds. It gets
Hmm.
more intense, and sometimes it's also
Yeah.
just flat.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, well, this is one of the kind of core elements of the practice. So, transformational connection is something, some kind of transformation or magic happens when we're not just in our experience, just, you know, normal kind of consciousness and things are just happening and you're kind of in it. There's this way we can wake up to what's happening as it's happening. But it seems like the sweet spot is not just like waking up to what's happening, kind of just witnessing it as an observer, but it's actually really living like what's inside of us, like really like going in and being authentic. But at the same time, we're discovering it as it's happening. That's when that's like when the practice is really alive.
yeah, and this also just brought me up a thought about my journey here. Um, when I started SAS, I thought, okay, I'm going to do SAS because I want to be a better circler. I want to learn the form better. I want to get feedback, and that's part of it. And but also what you said about the psychedelic experience. I've had these really deep, intense experiences, and there was some plan in my mind, like, okay, I'm going to be a better circler so that I can just almost like force these experiences. Um, and then somewhere in the middle, after a lot of frustration, this just dropped. The whole managing, planning thing, just wanting to force outcome, just dropped. And I think that's the surrender part of the practice. Just surrender
Hmm.
to the practice, to the immediacy, to the present moment. And yeah, for me that really made a difference. Like just to surrender that managing mind that wants to go somewhere, do something, have some kind of a psychedelic experience, some deep experience, and just surrender that. And that's yeah, for me that was the yeah, the biggest thing that happened. Yeah.
Yeah. And what's emerged from that realization or letting go of the kind of intense seeking mind?
Uh, uh, the word what pops up is like a beginner. I'm just I started as a beginner somewhere in the middle. I thought, oh, okay, I'm really good. I'm like a good circler now, and I totally get it. And now I'm just like a beginner again. Just
Yeah. And what's opening up for you in the practice, like from this place where you're less looking for something to happen?
I don't know. Nothing comes really. Maybe what comes up. I don't know. So
Because I imagine there's like a,
surprise.
yeah, well, I imagine there's a kind of ease and like um maybe like a subtle tension that's kind of relaxed as you're being with people. But I also wonder if you're actually paradoxically having more kind of profound experiences actually when you've let go more of like trying to make them happen.
Um, no, I'm not counting them anymore, but I feel like now I have like two things, like two threads, and one is you said the ease of it, like when I had my certification circle. Uh, yeah, I had some like my heart rate at just like 1 minute before it started was a little bit elevated, but no, there wasn't much tension or stress or whatever because I was not. Yeah, of course, there was the outcome. I wanted to get certified, but that was the only thing. But there was also like a lot of trust, like, okay, and there's also, I think, yeah, you said it once or twice, like when in doubt, immediacy is your friend, and that's the thing, like, and that and that's the second thread that also spills over to like real life, outside of the circling container. When in doubt, immediacy is my friend, and yeah, and that brought a lot also in my relationship with my wife and my kids and in work and yeah, and also yeah, I wanted to say tools, but it's not really that word, but like the five principles that you and John stated. Um, like one of the principles is like the level of sensation, and for me, the staying with the level of sensation is it, I think, and for me
Yeah.
that's really like a doorway to the present moment. Just the easiest doorway there is. So when I want to go to my friend, that immediacy, and I'm with my sensations and what's actually going on right now, and that's yeah, so one thing.
Yeah.
And I really like to do that. You have these five principles. Sometimes you just there's this principle and somehow it resonates, and I'm with that for a week or something. And also with the besides of this SES, uh, uh, I was also motivated because you encouraged to practice it. So I set up my group here at home and an online group. So to practice it, and sometimes I just have this principle, and I just take it with me
Yeah.
for a week and try to how like all the qualities and dimensions of that principle when you use it in the practice.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's good you speak to that because, I mean, especially for people new to the practice, the way we navigate, there's not this like big model and all these kind of techniques you have to learn and memorize. It's actually grounding yourself in these five principles, and they're a little bit like koans or like they're pointers, like stay with the level of sensation or trust your experience is one. And so like right now being with you, there's a part of me that's kind of aware of my experience of like what it's like to be here. And somehow there's a way you can trust that it's guiding you. But again, my experience over like 20 years of doing this is that's evolved subtly over time. And the more I practice, how I'm being guided by my experience. And then a commitment to connection, like, can you be in the truth of the connection with others even more than you are? Like, that's the commitment. But at the same time, that doesn't mean we have to be in a codependent kind of always staying with people because the truth of a connection can be no, thank you right now, or like I need to step away. but that's your commitment even there, like to say no when it's a no, with presence. And so,
Can I can I
yeah,
look into that
yeah,
commit commitment to connection? That's like a koan. You can you
hmm,
can hear in a lot of different ways, I think. And uh, for me, it also meant like connection to self and to myself. And to
yeah,
give an example, when I'm in this online um, session, it's not always like butterflies and everything is cuddly and great. Sometimes I got so frustrated, and these are like the subtle movements. I'm behind my computer. I see all my tabs open. I see email clients there, and then okay, I'm so done with it. I'm going to do emails or stuff. I'm just want just like the retracting movement, and
mm,
or just get distracted by something else in the room, and to commit to the connection, like okay, no, I'm just what's actually going on now in me here, and yeah, and I can imagine that also this principle can evolve, like what you said, in 20 years again and again and again. But for me, it was
mm, mm,
a really important thing just to yeah, to stay with it or stay in connection. And also, like what I said, it spills over in real life when I really noticed in myself like this subtle movements of retracting, like moving out or being distracted, just moving out, and just noticing that is what's happening, and just staying with that. Like, hey, I'm just distracted right now.
yeah.
What happens when I just stay here and stay connected to myself and to life, and what's actually going on? Yeah.
Yeah. I I love like doing these kind of explorations because it brings up memories of my early journey. And like I remember like when you're saying like staying with the level of sensation and this like noticing how much you're like wanting a special experience. Like I had that so strong in the beginning. Like I was so eager to discover spiritual truths and unearth like hidden emotion and shadow personalities. And so I was really like, but what the practice would do often, I mean, it did give me access. So in one way, I couldn't believe how easy it was to have these experiences because I had done 10-day meditation retreats, I had done like tantra workshops, and I would have profound experiences there, but it had a sense of like it being difficult. Like you'd have to do quite intensive, 10 hours of meditation a day, and then suddenly I'm just here with my friend, and within a few seconds of being present, it's like, whoa, what's happening? And then suddenly over like half an hour, it's like I'm having all these realizations. So something really relaxed in terms of spiritual experience or therapeutic experience didn't seem like this kind of holy grail that you had to go on like an arduous quest to find. But at the same time, it was vulnerable and difficult sometimes. But what started to happen for me as I was having more experiences is the part of me that was seeking for more was just getting totally exposed and like it was becoming so present, and it was actually quite intense, and like there's a lot of fear and anxiety in it that was starting to like I was starting to become aware of. And so through practice it was like, oh, I think I'm like heading towards something special, but I'm actually trying to move away from this anxiety or tension that's kind of making me look for something better. And and yeah, over time, like that that being integrated and allowed and space, yeah, like that relaxing away has been like such like a relief and are coming home. But I can't exactly tell you how it happened. All I know is through practice, it slowly but surely integrated.
Now that you say that, I remember that like in the most, I would uh, first I would call it like a subtle thing. Like for instance, something I would label as boredom. And now when I just stay with the boredom, it gets so intense. And I notice I want to just move away, just do stuff, do emails, and it get more intense and more. And also in
Yeah.
these sessions, sometimes I was just so bored with what was going on, and then staying with the
Yeah.
intensity of it, and yeah, and, yeah, I think it still a lot of to discover there, but
Yeah.
like so the word like fear. it, I always thought I was like a fearless person, and that maybe like on the gross level, it's like that. It's not, but like on this really subtle level, just when you go in, for instance, that boredom or the like, it's so,
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't even have words for it, but it's when you like plunge in, it's like, uh, yeah, I still didn't, haven't hit the bottom there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and it's you say that it just seems like the power of practicing, like because you're having this experience. So I'm with you, and I'm like, oh, I'm bored, and this is the form. This is yeah, this is my experience. But when we bring awareness to it, it's like, well, yeah, what is boredom like? And if you have that real curiosity, suddenly boredom's like, oh, wait there. I'm feeling, I'm actually feeling a little bit itchy in my arms and I was restless in my legs. And it's like, oh, there's a judgment of the other people and what we're doing. Oh, there's the stress from my like out of my outside life is kind of here. And then suddenly this boredom is like a whole tapestry of experience. And as you say, the closer you look at that, then it's like there's more and more depth gets revealed, and it's like, yeah, no ordinary experiences. And in fact, even the most mundane experiences, as you kind of wake up to them, are so rich and complex, and yeah, to be discovered.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, and there's another thing though that also reminded me of my early days. It gives me a little smile. I'd be in circles sometimes, and especially if like, you know, John, who I was like practicing with, and we're main peers, which means we're also main competitors. Like, not wanting him to become a better circler than me, or all that gets triggered as well. But sometimes we'd be in a circle, and he'd be having some kind of an experience that at first I'm kind of subtly judging. Like, I he feels like shame with this person or something, or but then he stays with it and he's like staying in the connection with this person, and then slowly but surely, like there's this whole journey get like emerges out of this like feeling that he's having with this person, and suddenly the whole circle's energized by this like experience between them. And it's like I'm like, whoa, like I judge that experience as kind of, why are you bringing that? Or like, so what if you've got this little like pain in your chest with this person? But then as it kind of unfolded, catching these little subtle things that are happening and then bringing awareness and connection to it, it was like suddenly there was a whole transformational experience for a whole group, and like, and obviously a big experience. So it really woke me up to the subtle ways I judge and underestimate, and myself and what's inside of me, what's happening with others. And it's really like it can be mind blowing.
yeah, yeah. Now that you say that, trusting your experience. I think, and it's still there. And uh, normally in conversations with people, people say something, and then you say something back, and it's like as a logical order, so to say. It is like a storyline you follow. And you were also talking about judgment, and sometimes I just if there's this shift or something happening, and I'm just self-judging, like, should I bring this in? This no, this is like total nonsense, nothing to do with what's happening. And oh, oh, but it's still there. And okay, let's bring it in. And then you just bring yourself in, your experience, and then like a total shift, and people resonating. Yeah, yeah, this bomb bomb, and then like, okay, okay. And so, and sometimes nothing happens. And it's not, and that's also, it's not uh like a recipe, or if I do that, then the circle will explode or something, or
Yeah,
liveness. No, but just some trust in there, and maybe, and that, oh yeah, that was also a thing. Sometimes nothing happens. I at one moment I brought something in. Maybe it was with you. I don't know. Something like, I don't want to talk about strawberries. I just want to eat strawberries, and just no reaction, nothing. Just went flat. And I said, okay. And a week later, I was with one in a one-on-one with one of the group, and he said, "Yeah, the strawberry stayed with me for the other week, the whole week." I also talked to my
yeah,
coworker. I said, "I want to eat strawberries." And I thought, okay, even that, like these, I don't know, just you bring yourself in, and what there's some surrender and trust in that. Maybe you don't think,
yeah,
and it's like, for me, it's like the top of the iceberg. You can only like perceive like top of the iceberg, and you have no idea what
yeah.
what yeah, what life does with it. And just
Yeah, I get shivers because that little realization there though is can be so huge because a lot of people, and definitely me included, like you're in a group situation and if you're just on like the tip of the iceberg, you're like, oh, I just shared myself and no one cared because no one said anything. Or, I hear this often in a circle, someone will share and it's like, oh, I didn't bring it in a way that people could really hear because they didn't say anything, and there'll be a judgment, or people are just restless and bored. They'll make that kind of judgment, or we're just talking about nothing. But actually, there's like 9 people there or 20 people there, and you actually don't know. There's a whole world going on in everyone, and your judgment's probably like not capturing even like 10% of what's happening. And when you actually start to see what's happening, like you said, you say this thing and it seems like no one responded. But I actually remember that moment and it definitely impacted me. It touched lots of different elements of me. And then, like you say, this other person, and and I actually think there's no expression that doesn't just have like a rippling effect into eternity. So it's like it's never true for me that someone doesn't have impact. And even if you say it's kind of a neutral impact, it's like, wow, it's quite incredible to be a human being to express something that has a neutral impact on like 9 people. Like, what's actually happened there? How did that, yeah, what's that going on for that to happen? But that can really wake us up to, yeah, what's really going on when we're in groups and bring a lot more relaxation and trust to, to be in a group.
yeah, yeah. Also, it's still that in, like the judgment thing, and also what you said earlier, when you really watch close. When I just somewhere I saw myself judging something, like was a group member was sharing something, and I just judged it as, okay, that's like cognitive meaning making. Bum. And the moment I did it, just the experience went, for me, went flat. It was just, nothing to nothing to explore anymore. No, nothing. It was just bum. Just as I've put it in a box, just and closed it. Like, okay, that's cognitive meaning maker done. And when saw that happening, and that really changed something. I'm still not like the holy man there, but like what
Yeah,
judgments do. Or if we see the piece of wood outside with all the leaves on it, we judge it as a tree, and that is also part of our humanness, like categorizing things. But when you do that in that richness of yeah, in connection, and then just okay, oh, you're like this, you're like, oh, Sean, you're the teacher, bam, and then
yeah,
there's nothing more to discover about Sean.
yeah,
You're just teacher, done. Yeah,
yeah. And that seems like that's such a big part of what like we just often discover. It's like it's. I think what happens when we judge, part of it's like usually there's some sense of like this thing is not good or it is good. There's like a judgment that it's good or bad, and as soon as you've done that, it's like yeah, it's like there's nothing more to know. It's been filed away as this is good and this is bad. But then actually when we really look at anything, I think closely, we don't really know much about it. Like, yeah, I know this tree is called an oak, but this is a being here. There's nothing like this in the universe. Never been like, it's totally fresh. And it's not even a tree. It's like it's a multitude of cells and life and but even cells is a name. Like even that's not a thing. It's like there's a total miracle in front of me. And as soon as you categorize the main thing for me is like you go into the known and then you miss the unknown, which is then like I can discover, I can wake up, I can see new levels. And yeah, that's it's really a gift to be able to wake up to that.
yeah. It's like the word unknown. You now say like I don't know. It had this impact of what is it? There was a lot of unknown to discover in the SAS, and there's still like a lot of unknown left to discover, and it's
Yeah.
like and also being with the unknown. It's yeah, also a scary part.
Yeah.
That's something I noticed in myself, just the tendency to yeah, to plan and to manage and to I don't know, to get some outcome that is yeah, you know, okay, we're going there, and just being with the unknown. Also, uh, for instance, in the surrendered leadership context, when you're there and you just no idea what's going to emerge from the group. It's yeah, unknown. It's a rich word.
Yeah. Yeah, well, to give yeah some ideas to people listening, like the SAS online, it's obviously 6 months, and like you say, we learn surrender leadership or we practice surrender leadership, like a group process of becoming present and really allowing what's emerging between us to take us on a mystical journey or on a very human journey, and getting to practice your leadership in surrender. But we're also learning to lead birthday circles, which is it's like a way to learn transformational connection where you can really be with one person with really exquisite attention on them and what it's like for us to be with them. And you learn to facilitate that. And within the SAS, yeah, that's where I get curious for you, like which parts were really supportive for you learning the practice, because there's practicing with peers. You'll do that once a week. You did coaching as well with the senior team. Uh, we did group calls with theory and practice, and then we've got the 3 hour sessions. Yeah, but what were the things that really supported you, like in your journey?
I think all of it. And that's me. It's I find it difficult to answer because it's like the totality of it all. And
Mm,
also when I started this, I really committed to it. So just doing the buddy calls, doing the coaching calls, doing the uh, uh, and also like practicing at home or with my own groups and like that totality and uh, maybe that's also like the first principle, like staying in connection, like committing to connection to the practice, like all the time, like, hey, what's going on here? And yeah, and then also we have this Telegram group, and sometimes something pops up there, and also like this,
yeah.
the you or other senior leaders respond to it, like the totality of being with the group and just being committed to yeah, to learning, to exploring this practice for 6 months. That I can't really pinpoint something like, oh, then this coaching call. Like, yeah, a lot of
Yeah.
even from the most unexpected places. For instance, there was like a message on Telegram, and it had some in our group so much impact on me, and it seemed like a neutral kind of message. It's so much impact. Now these things like sometimes they just come from the m- most unexpected places. But I would say like the totality of like a lot of circling in 6 months with yeah all different levels, group, peers, senior leaders, coaching calls, Telegram groups, like the totality, like yeah. But I also think if I speak for myself, I and I still am. We're, I'm very committed to learn and to explore this practice. So just just like a deep dive it felt, and yeah, and if for me that approach, yeah, I'm very happy with that, and I wouldn't want to do this like half-heartedly, like oh yeah, oh it's
Mm,
Wednesday again, let's do it in 3 hours, and then close my laptop, and then no, it was really like a deep dive for 6 months. Yeah.
yeah. Well, it's great to hear that because that's really how we just fell in love with the practice and we just did it all the time, and that's what took us on this journey then to want to take it to the world. We were never planning to do that. It just kept emerging, but really from that commitment, and I've really seen that in you and this group as well. It's been there's been a lot of commitment to connection. And what we found over the years, even someone one time without us knowing in a group was tracking, it was a participant who was tracking who did all the buddy calls and the coaching and the sessions. And he found out that the ones that did all of it, all of them certified the first time. And then the ones that didn't, uh, in this particular group, and there was 22 people, uh, they they didn't certify the first time. They needed to do a bit more to do it. And sometimes some people are really busy somehow, or their journey kind of is quite, goes on a kind of mystical roller coaster of some kind, and they can't do everything, and that's okay. But it it does seem we've got it homed in that yeah, if you can do these practices, and you know, you'll really get the most from the practice, and be able to become a certified facilitator, and do your own groups. And imagine it's quite satisfying for you to lead your own groups and what happens there. Yeah, how's that gone for you?
um uh, for instance, where I live in the Netherlands, like this group at home, I just I just wanted to practice, so I invited some people that I thought maybe they're open to it, and yeah, and with some people I just shared my longing, and that I want like group, and that I want like regularity with it, and that I also don't want to be like the only one uh doing it or say or what's it? I wanted some kind of a support, like so like also some commitment, like other people that think like, oh, this is cool, I want to commit to it, and then just expressing that, like things emerged and people came to me like, hey, well, do you want to also, someone like, oh, I have a group, and do you want to host a session, and stuff just emerged from it,
Yeah.
and locally and offline, and yeah, and also the online circle. I started, and now I have to cap it, because yeah, there's like a maximum number. I think it's cool. And in the beginning, what, like three,
Mm.
4 people, and then I thought I do just every Wednesday morning, 10:30, and do it together with Tobias, and uh, and then yeah, and more people show up, and now it's just capped at a maximum, and
Wow, yeah.
yeah, and that's cool, and also still there, and uh, that's that's yeah, that's maybe like humility towards life. Uh, I think it was just after I certified, and then, I certified, and then the next day or week I had a circle, and something happened between two people, and the circle just exploded there. And okay, afterwards, in retrospect, I think, okay, it all was not too much harm done, but it's still like, okay, still these are groups
Yeah.
of people, and they're like, it's not that you can plan or predict it, or, oh, I'm now a skilled certified facilitator, and I'm just gonna guide this group to nirvana. And I know yeah, I'm
Yeah.
still beginner there. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. The real, you can't escape the real. Yeah. Human beings certainly have a
yeah,
lot of intensity coming through them through history, if you look. And yeah, if we're going to be really present with what's in us, it's quite a rich tapestry. But again, like just hearing you, just remember in the beginning for me, it meant so much, like to to go on my own journey to find like what was in me. That was quite an intense journey, and but beautiful to find my emotions and find my capacity to open to altered states and to be able to communicate more truthfully. But also sometimes, yeah, feeling my resistance, and it was very hard for me to own my jealousy and my loneliness, and that was quite a journey. But it was really touching for me though, like in the beginning, like leading circles and people just feeling really seen just where they are and what effect that has on them and how they can unfold, and being amazed that someone wants to be with them when they're, in their sadness or in a contraction or whatever it is that's happening. And it felt such a gift for me to be able to offer that, or like to have that perspective or that way of being with people. Um, and then yeah, over time seeing that also develop and become more attuned and sensitive. Um, but also, like you say, even after 20 years of leading or practicing, yeah, I can still go into a circle and be like, whoa, like this is what's happening here, or like, yeah, a new level of complexity that emerges for me, and yeah, back to beginner's mind.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, well, cool. Great to be with you, Harpe, and I've very much enjoyed our journey. And I think, yeah, seeing your group thriving and yeah, how how good your certification circle was. It feels like yeah, it makes sense from your commitment and it seems like yeah, the fact that you weren't doing it for results primarily, like you it seemed like you were really in the mystery and the discovery. So it doesn't surprise me these things are unfolding for you.
Now I'm having a psychedelic experience.
Yeah, me too. And yeah, just a pleasure to get to know you. And yeah, thanks for sharing here. Is there any last things you'd like to say before we close?
No, no, it was a pleasure. Yeah.
Yeah, well, big love and yeah, till till soon.
Yes. See you soon.